Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Mosser. That is one of my best friends, David Cahoon, and you're locked into another episode of the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast. Tonight is Season 2, Episode 16, the 29th episode overall, David, and there's a different kind of buzz in the room tonight, I would say. You feel it the second you sit down, man. This is one of the episodes that reminds you of why fantasy football is the greatest game on the planet, Dave. Because it's so fun. Because tonight we're stepping into the format that built this entire community, I would say. Today we're doing a full 12-team standard fantasy football mock draft. No rookies only, like we previously done. No dynasty only. No super flex. Not a niche format. For the diehards. This is the draft. This is the one that your coworkers play. This is the one where your family league argues about every August. This is the one that fills message boards, group chats, and office trash talk for 5 straight months. Standard scoring, 12 teams, every NFL player on the board. This is the format that makes half of us all fall in love with fantasy football in the first place, and the format that still brings out the strongest opinions, the biggest surprises, and the most heated debates. Because when every player is available, when every strategy is viable, and when every pick shapes the board for the next 11 teams, you find out real quick who actually knows what they're doing, and this is, I'm fired up, David, for this one. Tonight isn't just about rankings or, it's about philosophy, I would say. It's about roster construction. It's about understanding value in a room where every manager just thinks that they are the smartest one at the table. Usually it's me. We're going to go round by round, pick by pick, talking through all the selections or decisions, the pivots, the reaches, the steals, and the moments that the board forces your hand. This is the closest thing that you can get to draft day adrenaline without the countdown clock that's actually in front of you. So settle in, get comfortable, grab whatever you're drinking tonight, and let's get into this full 12-team standard fantasy football mock draft.
Let's do it. This is the most popular draft system style model you want to talk about, whatever you want to say. It's the most popular way to play fantasy football, what we're doing tonight. So this is going to be huge, helping you. We're here at the end of June, and we still have some time before the season starts, but this is going to be really, really critical and helpful for you as you prepare for the upcoming season. But real quickly, if you are following along with us and have been rocking with us this whole time, please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Follow us wherever you are at. We are there. We are on X. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We are on YouTube. Pretty much everywhere that you are, we're trying to be there. So go ahead and give us a follow, subscribe to us, turn on notifications, because you're not going to want to miss any of the content we've got coming up as we gear up into this NFL season and fantasy football season. You can also find us wherever you get your podcast as well. So that would be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Boom Player, Podbean, pretty much everywhere you get a podcast, we're there as well. So go ahead, turn on automatic downloads, and leave us a 5-star review, because we are trying to grow, and we're growing rapidly. So you don't want to miss out on this awesome ride.
Yes, definitely. Also, real quick, we are brought to you by Monster Moments Photography. We are a husband and wife photography team based in Cleveland who specialize in providing the best wedding photos in Northeast Ohio. Check out our website at monstermomentsphotography.com. That's MOSSOR, momentsphotography.com. David, how you been, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Dude, I'm good. I'm exhausted. I ended up going to Cincinnati to do the Scott Fishbowl Fantasy Cares.
Yeah, how was that?
Charity fantasy football event. It was awesome, dude. It was a lot of cool. It was this giant venue. It was think bowling, but with footballs. So it's like on a raised platform. There's bowling pins, and it's like 40 feet. You throw footballs and knock them down. A lot harder than you think, actually. A lot harder.
I believe that. Especially when it gets awkwardly shaped.
When you get the 1 or 2 pins, it's very difficult. But yeah, we all showed up there. Probably about, I don't know, I think there was 10 leagues of 10 people, so 100 people there, and we had food included, and we all just I don't know, there's probably 10 or 15 Browns fans there, which was really cool, just because it's in Cincinnati, so we're in enemy territory, but a lot of fun. The league was totally weird with the tight ends, so it's tight end premium, and then the tight end also gets a point if it's a first down, and they get a point if it is a catch. So up to they can get up to like 3 points. Yeah, so they get up to 3 points per catch.
Wow.
if they get a first down, which is insane. So
It
obviously
would-
your draft strategy is completely different there. A lot of fun, really cool.
Yeah.
And I'll be going to do the Cleveland one as well, representing our podcast and just Cleveland
Yeah.
next month as well. So I'm very excited that
Nice.
they invited me to do that. So
That's awesome. So you call that a super tight end league then, or what do you even call that scoring?
a headache. I don't
That's
know.
like ultra tight end premium.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my tight end 6 in the 4th round with Harold Fannin, so that tells you something. So
There you go.
there you go.
Nice. Well, yeah, I'm doing well. Life is good here. We are still in the middle of home renovations, but we got all of our flooring laid down. We got all the doors out. Got our kitchen done. So we're just
Nice.
kind of getting inch by inch closer and closer to finishing up here. So, yeah, I'm excited to get it done. We are so close, and it's going to look so good once it's done. So.
Yeah, man, I miss you. I feel like we haven't played games in 2 months. We haven't done anything, dude.
I like unplugged my Xbox and moved all my stuff around down here so we could fit all the flooring in the basement and the doors and everything. And so, yeah, literally, I haven't been on Xbox in
I think
forever.
David's been a prisoner, so we need
No,
to
not a
let him
prisoner.
out of his cage.
Just busy. But yeah. Well, to recap where we're at in our off-season program, we have really done a lot. And if
much.
you've missed it all, go ahead and listen to our other podcasts because we've recapped a lot of things that have happened this offseason, starting with the NFL draft. So leading up to the draft, we broke down players that are going to be in this draft that are going to be rookies in this upcoming NFL season. So we talked about quarterbacks, talked about wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. If you missed any of those, please go and listen to those podcasts. They're going to help you get an idea of what kind of player your team drafted if you are curious about it. And then we had our live show where we went over the NFL draft round 1 live on Friday night, or Thursday night actually, and it was awesome.
So awesome, dude.
Yeah, we had
Over
a great turnout.
912 people live during that show. Just such a huge blessing. Very humbling, honestly.
Yeah, it was awesome, and so
and
much
just-
fun. Like just engaging with everybody in the comments and just
Just the
live
like
reactions
we
and
were
things.
so hard. I put in hundreds of hours just for that specific event of work. So just a little bit of validation was nice. So I really appreciate that. So
Yeah, absolutely. And then after that, we took a little bit of time and kind of broke down some things that happened since the draft, talked through some off-season changes, talked through the coaches that have changed, talked through free agency a little bit. And that leads us to kind of where we're at now in the middle of mock draft season. We've done a couple of rookie mock drafts in the past as well, but now we're kind of hitting the ground running in this week's episode, which is Mosser.
yes, we are doing the. I'm not muted. Okay, the 12-team standard mock draft. David, blah 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 blah.
Wah, 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 wah.
There's a certain, nice. There's a certain electricity that hits the room when you say the word standard mock draft. Because this isn't theory. This isn't niche formats. Like I said, this isn't a draft only for the diehards that care about. This is the main event for most fantasy football players. A full 12-team standard fantasy football mock draft, the format that builds this entire hobby. Built it. Literally built this entire hobby.
Yeah.
The format that most leagues still use. And the format that every fantasy manager thinks they've mastered until the board punches them in the mouth. And that's what makes tonight so fun, David. In Dynasty you're projecting. In Superflex you're strategizing. In rookie drafts you're forecasting upside. But in standard mock drafts, you're fighting for every inch. You're balancing floor and ceiling at the same time. You're trying to squeeze every ounce of value out of a board that changes with every pick. Running backs matter more. Touchdowns, swing weeks. Consistency becomes king in these kind of formats, and the margin for error are razor thin.
Yep.
Tonight, every player is available. Every strategy is on the table, and every pick tells a story. Whether you're building around a bell cow, anchoring with the wide receiver 1 or zigging while all the rest of the room zags, we're going round by round, pick by pick, breaking down the decisions that, real managers face in real drafts. The reaches, the steals, the panic picks. I had a few of those this weekend where I'm like, what the hell do I do between this guy that's hurt all the time and this guy that sucks? I don't know. And that was in the 5th round. What the heck? The moments where, the board forces your hand, the moments where, you trust your gut. This is the closest thing you can get to draft day adrenaline without the countdown clock staring in the face. I've already talked about this. And if you're listening right now, you're getting a front row seat to how we build a roster from scratch, live, unfiltered, and straight from the couch. Now, we're going to do this a little differently. since there's only 2 of us here and this is a 12-team mock draft and we're doing every player, it's unrealistic for us to just go back and forth and pick every player. So I have selected the 2nd overall pick, and David has selected, would you say 8, Dave?
Number 8, baby.
Number 8. So we will be just in charge of our teams. We will let the computer draft their own teams, and then we'll compare our teams just to make this go a little faster, just so we're not here for 4 hours. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So
yeah. It's going to be great, and you guys get to see, as Monster said, what our strategies are as we're live picking. It can vary as each board falls out each time, and so it's going to be really interesting to see how this one lays out and how we are going to live react and adapt and try and get the best value we can with each of our picks. So it's going to be fun and exciting, but without further ado, are you ready, Moss?
let's do yes.
All right, let's get into it.
What league were you drafted in? Where'd you go?
Sorry, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
What'd you say?
Sorry. I lost my sleeper room. I'm going back into my phone real quick. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Continue.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to make that one the main one.
Not me. Gotta make the main thing.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm back in, so whenever you're ready.
There we go. All right, can everybody see this? Are you good?
I'm good.
All right. Great. Well, as you said, you have the 2nd overall pick, and I've got the 8th. So let's jump on into it and start this draft. Congratulations, Mosser. You are on the clock here at pick number 2. What are you thinking?
Wow, Bijan number 1. So it was interesting. I was just telling David that before the show that at this live draft event that I was at, there was probably more than half of the leagues that were there at 101. Puka Nacua was the 101 pick, which I thought was really interesting. I would have went Bijan there as well, but I'm gonna go Jamar Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Do you want to pick it, or do you want me to?
It's all you. You got it.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll let
Okay.
the computer do their thing and take all these picks, and then here I am sitting at number 8.
All right, real quick.
Yeah.
Gibbs at the two spot in standard leagues is the kind of pick that I think tells the entire room exactly what type of roster you're going to build. Explosive, touchdown driven, build around a player who can flip a matchup with one touch. In Detroit's offense, Gibbs isn't just a change of pace guy anymore or a guy with a shared backfield. He is the lightning bolt they designed the game plan around. This guy, the Lions lean on him in scoring territory. They scheme him into space. And every time he gets the ball, the defense has to account for the possibility that he's taking it 40 yards to the house. And I think it's standard scoring that matters even more. You're drafting for chunk plays, for touchdowns, for efficiency over volume, and he's going to have volume too. So he's going to check every one of those boxes. He gives you elite weekly upside. He's tied to one of the most stable offenses in the NFL, and he's a rare back who can win you weeks without needing 25 touches to do it. That's why I picked him. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great pick and a great value. The way that this board has fallen with so many running backs going early, and we're now sitting at pick number 8 with 55 seconds left. I'm going to try and fill some time.
Are you interested? That's so strange that 5 running backs went first. Too.
I know, that is so strange. So here at this pick, I feel like the value for a player like Jackson Smith-Njigba is just screaming in my face, and I feel like I have to take him. Okay. I feel like there's opportunity to get running backs on the next 2 to 3 rounds, and still find good value here without reaching. And so I feel like when a player like Jackson Smith-Njigba, who was the wide receiver 1 last year and should put up very similar numbers this upcoming year, it screams values to me. So I'm just going to take JSN right here.
Yeah, wide receiver 1.
Then it went Kenneth Walker, Ashton Genty, Devin Achane, Marion Hampton, Jeremiah Love, Drake London, Saquon, CeeDee Lamb, and then back to me. And so, again,
Jeremiah Love before all those guys.
Running backs. I don't know what this computer is thinking, but it is drunk on running backs right now. I was really hoping that somebody was going to fall to me there. I thought that they would, but okay, here we are. So now this is where I feel like I can go either one of 2 draft paths here for strategy. Okay. I can either go 0 running back strategy or hero running back strategy. I think
I don't
I'm
think you
leaning
got the
towards.
hero.
I think I'm leaning towards zero running back strategy and just taking Amon-Ra St. Brown here, who's still going to have great upside and great high floor as well, and pairing him with another awesome wide receiver and just have that duo lead me. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. See what kind of running backs I can get in the next round, in round 3. But Amon-Ra St. Brown is who I'm picking here.
Yeah, he's gonna be a first round pick too in most leagues. So that's a good pick.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
All right, we're back to you, and your Pookie just got picked sniped right before you, Trey McBride.
He did. All right, so yeah, this is a situation where, yikes. I mean, you got Malik Neighbors, who has all the potential in the world, but you don't know how he's coming back from that injury, when he'll come back from that injury. And honestly, saw some videos of him at a softball game recently where his knee looks looked not good at all, brother.
I want to talk about that.
Yikes. Yeah, especially as a dynasty holder. I'm a little nervous, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not expecting him to be playing right off the bat, you know. So I was hoping that I could get one of those top receivers. I think I still might. What pick is this? This is
211.
210. 11, you're right. I'm going to go George Pickens, I think.
All right. I like it. Good value for a wide receiver 1 type of option there in Dallas. Should put up good value. And if he gets traded, might even put up more value. So I like
Well, I don't think he's going to get traded. He did say that he wanted to play. He's going to play on the franchise tag, and I think he said he wanted to play with the Cowboys. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what the Cowboys do. But I think this is kind of the pick that makes your roster feel dangerous in the best way, you know?
Yeah.
George Pickens at the back of the second gives you a true perimeter alpha. We saw that last year. You know, a receiver who wins with physicality, with body control, and that throw it near me and I'll make it work kind of attitude, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with, you know, confidence. That's the word. You know, that plays heavily in any scoring format. And now, you know, he's in Dallas, tied to an offense that he actually leans to his strength. We saw that what he was able to do last year when CeeDee Lamb was off the field. Even when he was on the field, George Pickens was a top 5 receiver.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to feed him in isolation routes, you know, let him bully corners and trust him in the red zone. And in standard scoring, that's exactly what you want. A wideout who doesn't need 10, 12 catches to matter. He just needs a couple of chances, and he turns those into chunk plays and touchdowns. I think Pickens gives his team a little attitude, explosiveness, and weekly upside that I think is a big steal at 211. So,
Yeah, I think it's good value. I like it a lot. So who are you going to pick here at 3-2?
302. Yikes.
You went with my guy, Brock Bowers. I love that pick, actually. All right. So after Brock Bowers got picked at 302 by Mosser, it went Josh Allen, the first quarterback taken at 303, Nico Collins 304, Malik Neighbors 305, Chris Olave 306, Rashee Rice 307, and here at the 308 is where I am picking.
Hold on. Let me talk about Bowers. Gee,
Go for it.
Making me skip on your Pookie.
He is my Pookie.
He's at the top of the third. I think he gives you a positional advantage that most team in this league simply will have. He's not built, we know, like the typical tight end, and Vegas doesn't treat him like one either. They move him around, they feed him, you know, give him space touches, and let him operate like a featured weapon instead of a safety valve. You know, with standard scoring, you know, what you're really chasing is touchdowns and explosive plays, and Bowers is going to bring both of those right away. He's already one of the best run after catch players at the position, maybe in the NFL in terms of just bigger guys. You know, he's a nightmare in the red zone, and he's attached to an offense that's going to give him every opportunity to be the weekly difference maker. So yeah, him at 302 was it? Absolute steal.
Yeah, 302 is a great pick, especially because I feel like he's the most sought after tight end, and if you get him as a second tight end off the board in the third round, that's great value.
Yeah.
So here I am sitting at 308, and I'm also feeling torn here. I think I'm going to continue my trend that I'm doing right now with a zero running back strategy and see how it pays off later for me. And I'm going to take A.J. Brown here. A.J. Brown is somebody who was just traded to the New England Patriots and finally going to be the established wide receiver 1 for an offense that is young and emerging and can be a dynamic playmaker and score a ton of touchdowns. So I like the value here. He might be slept on a little bit, but I think that it's great value for a true wide receiver 1 on their team. So after A.J. Brown, I went to Breece Hall at 309, T. Higgins 310, Tet McMillan 311, Travis Etienne at 312, Javonte Williams 401, Luther Burden 402, which is surprising to me, Bashal Tutin at 403, also surprising, R.J. Harvey at 404.
Surprising how for Burden?
I feel like it's a little bit of a reach. I feel like there's more value there elsewhere. I feel like Garrett Wilson is more valuable. Jalen Waddle, I think, is more valuable. And I don't even know if Luther Burden's going to be the wide receiver 1 on his team. And so the fact that he's being picked as a wide receiver 1 is a little bit concerning to me. So
I do agree with the Garrett Wilson and Waddle, Judkins. There's definitely guys who I would pick ahead of him, but he is rising. I'm telling you, rising up boards everywhere, David.
I believe you.
By the way he played at the end of the season, they're projecting, a lot of fantasy players are projecting him to actually be the wide receiver 1, and demand more of balls in this offense. Obviously, DJ Moore is gone. You'll have to figure out with the Dunze and Colston Loveland where that mix is. But a lot of people think that this guy is alpha in this offense. I do think that in the 4th round this is a reach for me, but I'm not surprised by it for sure. So I just want to throw that there.
Yeah.
Even a lot of podcasts, a lot of experts, everyone is on Luther Burden this year.
See, I feel like I'm higher on Roma Dunze and Colston Loveland than I am.
You've been on Roma Dunze for 2 years since you drafted him.
I am. All right, so here I am at pick 405, and I'm still not have a running back. I've got Jeremiah Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown. So here I'm going to take somebody who I'm a firm believer in, and that would be Quinshon Judkins, running back for Cleveland. I think he's going to have an absolutely monster of a year. The quarterback situation there is a little bit dicey right now. They don't know what they're doing, and I think that they're going to get back to establishing the run game, and somebody like Quinshon Judkins could have a phenomenal year. So,
yikes.
So after Judkins, it went Travion Henderson, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams, and then Cam Scatterbo at the 410. And now Mosser's on the clock with 411.
All right, and let's see what my team is. We got Gibbs, Pickens, Bowers. I'm going to do something that fantasy managers refuse to do for the past 4 years and draft this guy right here.
David Montgomery. That's a great pick, actually. I love that a lot.
But why did I say that? Because obviously Gibbs and Montgomery were on the same team for so long. Obviously, it was not in your best interest to draft both of those guys relatively high in your draft. But I don't think that this pick gets like the flashy reaction. But every seasoned fantasy manager in the room nods because they know exactly what I locked in. Bankable production for David Montgomery. In the 4th round of a standard league, especially late, I think it's pure value. Houston brought him in to be the steady heartbeat of that backfield. The guy who handles the dirty work, the short yardage, the red zone carries, and the drives where they want to control the tempo. And in standard scoring, that role is absolute gold. He's not sharing high-level touches. He's not coming out the field and scoring territory. He's a type of back who quietly stacks up, 70-yard games and punches in a touchdown or two that swings matchups. He has shown time and time again that he is a great back. Obviously, Gibbs is better. So no one faults, the Lions for going in that direction, but now it's his opportunity, and I think in this offense, he was desperately needed. The injury to Joe Mixon, they did not anticipate, and this has been just a godsend. I think it's going to be perfect for fantasy. So,
I agree. That offense was literally just missing a piece like David Montgomery to just come in and be a high floor type of player and have bursts of showing eliteness, and so I like that pick a lot.
Thank you.
The 502, what you going to do? It went Colston Loveland after David Montgomery, and then Drake May, and back to you.
Loveland that late is a pretty good value as well.
Oh, great value, yeah.
I'm going to do... Man, I just want to take 2 tight ends. Screw you. I'm not going to do that.
Emeka Egbuka.
Emeka Egbuka. In the 5th gives you a young receiver who's stepping into a bigger role, obviously. Tied to an offense that's going to give him real scoring chances. Mike Evans is gone. He's gone. Has been the alpha, the guy who's gotten 1,000 yards every season until last year, in his career. Yep. And this offense is built to win in the exact areas that matter most in standard scoring, and Mecca's going to be that guy. He's a smooth route runner. He's efficient after the catch, and he plays with a physical edge that shows up, when the ball's in the air. Tampa Bay didn't bring him in to be a passenger. They clearly brought him in to be the guy, to be the chain mover who can also hit you with those 20-yard, body blow plays that flip a drive for sure. And then in the 5th round, this is great. You're not paying wide receiver 1 prices, but you're getting a player who can absolutely grow into a weekly starter territory as the season settles in. I think this pick gives my roster a young ascending weapon with real touchdown potential, and that's exactly what you want in standard formats. So
yeah, and he's got the opportunity now to really prove himself as a true wide receiver 1.
Absolutely.
I just want to see him actually rise to the occasion and take it, which I think he will. But yeah, I think it's a great pick and great value in the 5th round.
I think it all is going to rely on if Bucky is healthy, and if he's not, how efficient Kenneth Gainwell will be in the offense. But they got to be established in the run game to help Emeka out. Obviously, it's a big role to step up into. You have a rookie in Ted Hurst with some high hopes, and Chris Godwin and Jalen McMillan. So this is your room, buddy. You better take advantage of it. So.
Yep. So with 24 seconds here, I'm going to talk about my pick that I'm going to make.
All right, David.
Tight end Tyler Warren. We've heard all season and off season about how much Ryan Mosser loves Tyler Warren.
That's my real Pookie.
That is his Pookie through and through. And here I am taking him in the 5th round, which I think is just good value here.
Great value.
There's rumors floating around that Alec Pierce may not be ready to go at the start of the season. And behind him, there's just really Josh Downs as another receiving threat, and that's it. So somebody like Tyler Warren has the opportunity and the ability to step up and become a true threat in the passing game, and I think he's going to do it. And I think that fantasy managers who are willing to take a risk on him and maybe reach a little bit, even though I'm not sure the 5th round is a reach, will definitely benefit from him. So I'm excited about that pick.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Thank you. So after Tyler Warren, it went DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Carnell Tate, 5'11". Wow. Ramondre Stevenson, 5'12". Devonta Smith, 6'1". Jalen Warren, 6'2". Kyle Monangai, 6'3". Rico Daddle at 6.04. And that brings it back to me at 6.05, where I feel frankly very torn on what to do here. I don't necessarily love a lot of the names here. I've got my 3 wide receivers. I've got my running back. So at this point, I'm probably going to take a guy that I'm a believer in and people seem to be sleeping on in a player like a Rome Odunze.
Hate that pick.
Fine, I like it. Somebody who I think can become the wide receiver 1 in that offense now that DJ Moore is gone. I know everybody's really high on Luther Burden, but Rome Odunze was picked higher than Luther Burden and really has good chemistry with Caleb Williams. And so I think that that's going to be a much better option, especially when you get him 2 to 3 rounds later. So I like it a lot more.
I disagree, but we'll see. I mean, Ben Johnson I feel like has only talked about Luther Burden this offseason so far and how much he loves him and he wants to integrate him in the offense and get him more touches and this and that. I mean, it could be all smoke. I did like the player. I mean, Daniel Jeremiah had him as his best player coming out of college when he played. I think that he has been okay. There's been a lot of these high expectation receivers. Think even in that draft, Rome Odunze, Marvin Harrison Jr., just the top 2 off the board. Other than Malik Neighbors, who injuries I'm not going to count, but nonetheless, we'll see. Nobody knows right now, and that's a little scary. But there are 2 potential players who have great opportunities ahead of them. All right, I have a minute left. I've been talking. I'm going to do this one.
J.K. Dobbins at 6'11". Interesting.
J.K. Dobbins. I like it personally. I think that J.K. Dobbins in Denver gives you a back with real burst, real vision, and kind of a one-cut explosiveness that fits perfectly in offense built around downhill runs and play action. When he's healthy, he's efficient. I think he's averaging 5.6 yards per carry in his career, David. Something insane. He hits creases with purpose, and he doesn't need 20 carries to make noise. In standard scoring, that efficiency matters even more. You're chasing yards and touchdowns, not receptions usually. And with this price, I really like it, especially with the news that not Dobbins. what is his name? The other running back, rookie last year. I'm blanking. RJ Harvey. RJ
Harvey, yes.
Had surgery that not only people who knew about, so he might be out longer. That's going to give Jonah Coleman, a little bit of maybe some looks. But I think J.K. Dobbins will continue to have that average if he stays healthy, and he's going to be a beast this year. I think this might be the steal of the draft here, David.
Interesting. I like it. It's good value. We'll see what happens, though. I think that room's a little bit too crowded, so...
Yeah, but he's going to take it over. He's taking it over.
Okay. Well, here at the 702, Moss, who you got? After you picked Dobbins, it went Cortland Sutton, then Mekhi Lemon, and then back to you.
For this one...
I just need to say, whoever is picking for Team 1 for this computer has a terrible team. I don't like it.
It's fine. This one, I'm just going to go off of upside here and do this one.
Brian Thomas Jr. The opportunity is definitely there for Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas Jr. Obviously last year was an incredible disappointment, but his rookie year he was a top 5 fantasy receiver. And this late in the draft, 7th round, that's a swing I think that can turn a good roster into a dangerous one if it hits. Brian Thomas Jr. gives you the vertical playmaker, player with real size, real speed, and a role in Jacksonville that I think is tailor-made for standard scoring. Fewer empty touches, more chances to hit you with big stuff. He's got it's a big room, of course. Jacoby Myers, Travis Hunter Jr., who's going to be a beast there. As a receiver and not a corner. It's Parker Washington even, who stepped up greatly last year. But Brian Thomas Jr. has been an alpha in this league, and I think he will be again this year. He's a type of receiver who doesn't need volume to matter. One clean release, one deep shot, one red zone fade, and he's already paid off his week. And that's a lot of fun. And in this part of the draft where you're hunting players who can actually tilt a matchup instead of just filling a lineup spot, I think that's invaluable. So I really like this pick here.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think Brian Thomas Jr. really could ascend to becoming a wide receiver 1 again in the league. And so, yeah, good value here in the 7th round.
For sure.
The opportunity.
He was going as a 2nd round pick last year, bro. So
I know. So here we are at pick 708 for me. I got Jackson Smith-Njigba, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Quinshon Judkins, Tyler Warren, and Rome Odunze. Here, I'm just going to take the best player that I think is available right now, and that would be Jalen Hurts. A quarterback that could finish as a quarterback 1, could be improved now that A.J. Brown's out of the mix, and I think there's potential here for him to do well, so I'm going to take him. And then I mute myself so I can sneeze, and then after I picked Jalen Hurts, it went Jacoby Myers, Blake Corum, Sam Laporta, DK Metcalf, what's his first name? Something Wilson.
Michael Wilson.
Thank you, Michael. I want to say Marvin, but I was
Marvin Harrison, same team.
I'm tired. Jackson Dart, Chris Godwin, and then Brian Robinson, not Bijan Robinson, the other Brian.
Don't make that mistake.
Yeah, please don't. So then that brings it back to me at 805. I just picked Jalen Hurts, and I think my team is hurting for a running back, but I'm not going to reach on it. I'm going to try and take the best player available, and that would be Marvin Harrison Jr. here.
Love that pick.
I think here in the 8th round, he's still a wide receiver 1. He gets picked later than Michael Wilson. I'm just shocked. But yeah, he's there for me at 805, and I'm going to take him. And now my wide receiver room is really set with Jackson Smith-Njigba, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Rome Odunze, and Marvin Harrison.
I like it, David. I like it a lot. All right, so I am usually a believer in the late round quarterback method, the J.J. Zacharyson method, where you take a quarterback late round, because if you're not getting one of the top guys, 4 through 10, they're usually about the same. So
yeah, similar to tight end.
I've been holding off for a long time here, and I don't really love the quarterbacks coming up. So I think I'm going to hold off a little longer, but I don't know what I want. So this is kind of dumb. This is not a great. I'm going to go here just because of the potential. Well, yeah, I'll do it.
Sure. Bill Krosky-Merritt. There it is. I love it. And then Jadarian Price. Wow, also a bit of a surprise. They're at 812. And then starting the 9th round off, team number 1 picks Alec Pierce, 901.
It was actually between Bill Krosky-Merritt and Jadarian Price for me, just to get another running back in there. I mean, right now, both these guys are RB1s. We'll see. I don't know. Krosky Merritt, they did not bring many. They brought in Katron Allen. I actually like Katron Allen out of Penn State, but they brought him in the late in the draft. I doubt he'll be anything this year. He's a running back one, and at least he's established for a year, so that's why I decided him over Price. But Krosky Merritt runs with a downhill, no nonsense style that coaches love in short yardage and red zone situations. Washington has shown they're willing to mix backs based on situation, obviously. But he's the type of runner who can carve out, the dirty work touches that actually matter in this scoring format, I think. He's efficient, he finishes runs, and he doesn't need a huge workload to make an impact. Got to hold on to the ball a little bit, and last year he wasn't given the best opportunity. So many injuries. So we'll see. I like the upside here for sure. The offense should be better. I'm looking for more yards per carry for sure. That was a big disappointment last year. Yep. But I do like the player. He has the opportunity to be the running back one. I think he will be, and I'll take that upside for sure. So
30 seconds to pick at 9:02.
Gosh, 9:02. Dude, this sucks. I'm going to go, man. Sometimes you just don't want to pick, guys.
Sometimes, and this is one of those times for him.
All right, I'm going to go here.
George Kittle, I like it a lot. It's a great pick, honestly.
Yeah, I already have Brock Bowers as my tight end one, but George Kittle as that. It scares me to say insurance tight end because he's injury prone usually. I don't usually like to say that often, but he's had a lot of injuries in his history of in the NFL. But him backing up Brock Bowers, I think, is invaluable here, especially with guys around the board. Tyler Algier, who's going to be irrelevant. Gadsden, who's got a crowded room. Kincaid has been a disappointment. Connor, who's also in that crowded room. So Kittle here, I love it. Kittle still wins with leverage. He still creates, after the catch, and still has, that knack for slipping behind coverage for chunk plays. And in standard scoring, I think those splash plays and red zone moments matter way more than, the week-to-week reception totals. You're getting a tight end who can give you 60 yards and a touchdown on 3 touches, and that's huge. Not to mention, now he has a wide receiver one, a true wide receiver one, I think, on this team. We'll see how long that lasts.
Mike Evans, yeah.
And Mike Evans. So that's going to bring some of the heat off of him. So we'll see. I love this pick right here. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's great value, especially here in the 9th round when we're getting near reaches.
Always important to check buys too. I never check the buy there because this is a mock draft. But if you don't want 2 tight ends usually in the same bye week as well, so always check that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. So here I feel like I'm kind of cornered into what I need to pick here. I've got my wide receiver room very filled out with the Jackson Smith-Njigba, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, Roma Dunze, and Marvin Harrison. I got my tight end, a quarterback. I got a running back. But I need more running backs. So here I'm just going to pick the best running back that I think is available, and that's going to be Alvin Kamara. I know that there's concerns what his role is going to look like now that they've signed Travis Etienne in the offseason, but I think Alvin Kamara is just a talented player who's been a fantasy machine for so long that he's not just going to go quiet into the background and fade away. He's going to demand some touches. He's going to demand some work. And I think that you'd be foolish not to at least take a risk on him here in the later rounds. And so I think there's good value here. All it takes is a Travis Etienne injury for him to be in the running back one category again. And so I think there's good value here.
I like it.
Thanks. So that brings me to 10:05. After I picked Kamara, went Mark Andrews, Jake Ferguson, Parker Washington, Dallas Goedert, Trevor Lawrence. Thank you. Zach Charbonnet, Dak Prescott, and Patrick Mahomes. And so we're seeing a lot of quarterbacks come off the board lately. This is kind of the time to start getting your quarterback one. I've already got my quarterback one. So here at the 10:05, I'm going to try and just find some good value in a player. And I'm going to probably get... I don't really need a wide receiver. I would like to get a running back, but I'm kind of torn on who. So I'm going to take a chance here on a player that I liked a lot coming out of college, and that would be Jonah Coleman here at the running back position.
My RB2 of the draft.
Yeah, he's talented. I just hated the landing spot like we've talked about. Denver is going to be doing the running back by committee thing, but if he can really establish himself and find a good role for himself in that room, he could really find a lot of value in the fantasy world. So I don't hate the value here in the 10th round.
Yeah. Let me look at my team real quick.
Here, you've got Jahmyr Gibbs, George Pickens, Brock Bowers, David Montgomery, Mika Ibuka, J.K. Dobbins, Brian Thomas Jr., Bill Krosky-Merritt, and George Kittle.
All right, ready for this one?
I'm ready. Who is it, Moss? Tell us.
QJ, Quentin Johnston. This is the exact, kind of double-digit round pick that I think is going to shift a lot of leagues this year. For some reason, he's dropped this far. People forget. Yeah. Yes, he was a huge disappointment the first few seasons of his career. But last year, for I'd say the first 3/4 of the season, he was a wide receiver 1, and not only that, but a top 5 receiver in the NFL in fantasy. It was insane.
He was on fire, literally.
Insane. Over Keenan Allen, over Ladd McConkey, and then eventually we saw that Keenan Allen started taking more of those reps away from him late in the season. But nonetheless, like, Keenan Allen's not there anymore. They have Brenton Thompson is a different type of receiver than this guy. I think QJ now has a fully established role in this offense, and I think he's going to be great. He's got the size, he's got the burst, he's got the ability to win after the catch, and now he's on a Chargers offense that, desperately needs someone to step up in a real role behind, their top options, or just to be that top option. So yeah. I love this pick. I think this is a kind of a boomer bust, but I'm leaning on the boom this late for sure. So
yeah, I feel like it's good value.
Absolutely.
You're picking your wide receiver 5, 4?
Yeah. Yeah, and he was a
at
top
the very
5
least, he rides your bench all season, and at the very most, he becomes your wide receiver 2 or 3. So, great value there.
All right, I'm up again, and I'm going to do this one.
Tell us who it is.
Matthew Stafford, quarterback for the Rams. MVP of the league last year, and I got him in the 11th round, guys. A rock-solid veteran grab in the double-digit rounds for sure. Matthew Stafford gives you exactly what you want out of a late quarterback in a standard league. Stability, experience in an offense that honestly lets him push the ball when the matchup calls for it. You got Puka Nacua. You got some Kyron Williams. He's just got some great options on that team. Devontae Adams in the red zone was lethal last year, guys.
Yeah.
He's still one of the best anticipatory, throwers in the league, even at his age. He's surrounded by playmakers who can turn his accuracy into huge chunk gains, and he gives you a weekly floor that keeps your lineup from bottoming out. You're not going to draft him for the rushing, obviously. You're drafting him because he can still drop 275 yards and 2 scores on any given Sunday, and that's more than enough to keep you competitive at quarterback. If I'm going late round QB, this is exactly the type of guy I'm trying to look for. So.
Yeah, I think it's a great value for late round QBs. You just got to make sure he stays healthy. That's
absolutely
the only thing that you got with him at his age. His back going to hold up. I hope so, because he's dynamic and explosive and just really great when he is. MVP caliber player. So here at the 11:08, I am kind of just looking for best player available, and so I'm probably just going to pick Travis Kelce here as my tight end too. Yes, he's getting a little bit older. Yes, he's getting a little more dinged up. Was kind of torn between him and Isaiah Likely, in all honesty, but I think Travis Kelce is going to have more volume and more opportunity to really catch a lot more touchdowns than I think Isaiah Likely will at this point. And so I like the pick here. My tight end 2, Tyler Warren, and Travis Kelce. I feel like it's good value there. What were you going to say?
I said we'll see.
We'll see, but I think it's good value. So here at the 12:05, it's come all the way back to me. I'm going to pick a player who I think people are kind of sleeping on this year, and I don't really need a wide receiver, but I'm going to take one anyway as my wide receiver 6 with 3 rounds left, and that is going to be Jaden Higgins, wide receiver for Houston. I think that there's just great value here for a player like Jaden Higgins. He's the clear wide receiver 2 in that offense. If Nico Collins shouldn't miss any time, Jaden Higgins is going to step up and demand targets. He's going to be a reliable piece in that passing game, and I think he's going to emerge as a year 2 player that can become a star in the future. So I like Jaden Higgins here. I think it's great value in the 12th round. So. Oh, and Moss, just to let you know, we are picking defenses as well. I forgot to take them out. So
I'm skipping defenses.
Okay. You'll ride the waiver wire for defense.
For sure, yeah. I don't care. All right, I'm ready for, what is this, 12-11?
12-11.
All right, this is going to be... David, do you know who I'm going to pick here? Because I love him. This is
I
my
think I have a guess,
breakout player of the year, right here. Okay.
but Josh Downs. I knew
Josh
it was coming. I knew it was
Downs.
coming.
Josh, I love Josh Downs. I talked about him last year, thinking that this offense he was going to break out, and it's only a matter of time. And now I think it's finally here, guys.
It's happening.
They have Alec Pierce, who they gave him a ton of money to. I don't get it. You don't get it. We don't get it. We don't understand.
Good
He's
for
not.
him, but yeah,
He's not a wide receiver one. He's a one-trick pony, and that's kind of weird. They have Tyler Warren, who's going to be their top option. Just gonna be. He's an absolute monster. But Josh Downs is going to be a matchup nightmare in the middle of the field. He is going to get open. He's going to be, short in intermediate routes. He's going to thrive. Think slants, hooks, stuff like that, digs. And his yard after catch ability is amazing. I really like the player. He's the type of receiver who finally has the ecosystem he needs. And I really, really love this upside here. He's my breakout player of the year. I think he's going to be very good this year. So
yeah, I love the pick a lot. I think there's a lot of value here, especially if Alec Pierce does miss time to start the year. He's going to be the only wide receiver in that room now moving forward. And so, yeah, I think there's great value here to start this year, especially. And even I think down when it comes to the playoff stretch too, his matchups that they have as a Colts should be really, really good for him to boom really well during that time. So I like that a lot.
Thank you. All right, for my next pick, I have 35 seconds. Better make it.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
KC Concepcion. Do I have to say it? I mean, this is crazy value, I think, for this far back in the draft. You want a player who's going to change the math of your roster, and I think he's going to be exactly that kind of this swing this late. He's a separation machine. He's explosive underneath, and Cleveland is going to manufacture touches for him because he's one of the few guys on that roster who can turn a routine play into something that actually stresses the defense. I don't think he's a gadget player. He's a rhythm builder who wins with suddenness, with balance, and a natural feel for space that shows up on every rep. I'm not necessarily worried about his drop passes in college, as we talked about previously, David and I. I think there are a lot. A lot of that has to do with the quarterback and the throws, and just concentration, just trying to move with the ball before you have it, and hopefully that'll be coached out of him. He creates yards after catch. He's slippery in the open, very slippery in the open field, and he's the type of player that you want. He can take a short throw and rip off 25 yards before anyone realizes what happens. I love the value here.
Yeah, it's a great value here in the 13th round. You really just can't beat it. Here for my pick at 1308, I'm going to take somebody who I've tried to be patient with in my Dynasty League for years, and my team right here needs a running back because I've only got 3, and so I'm going to take Jonathan Brooks here in the latest second to last round to see if he can become that running back one for the Carolina Panthers.
You can pick a defense. It's fine. I'll pick a defense.
Okay, I'll pick a defense. So I did like David Njoku as well. I do need probably a quarterback too, but I'll wait and hold off. And so here I'm going to take a defense. And I'm probably going to take the best one that is available in my mind, and that would be the Seattle Seahawks, the team that just won the Super Bowl because of their elite defense. So there you have it.
Oh, these defenses are but.
I just realized the team that I actually wanted wasn't even picked yet, so you should probably pick them.
I'm looking. Hold on. Oh, easy.
Yeah, there it is.
Easy. I was like, where are they?
They were picked, and it was actually the Raiders the
so Chargers. Easy. Man, I love you, but I destroyed you.
I don't know. Let's go through these teams. So Mosser had the pick 2 overall, and this was what his team ended up becoming. Jahmyr Gibbs, George Pickens, Brock Bowers, David Montgomery, Emeka Egbuka, J.K. Dobbins, Brian Thomas Jr., Bill Krosky-Merritt, George Kittle, Quentin Johnston, Matthew Stafford, Josh Downs, Casey Concepcion, and the L.A. Rams.
Wow.
So I think it's good overall.
It's A+.
I think your wide receiver room is a little bit on the weak side, but overall it's not bad.
Listen, we have if George Pickens pans out the way I think he will, I have a top 5 receiver for this year, a top 5 running back, the top tight end, and just some fantastic depth. So that's where I'm at.
And the best got a lot of depth, so I like it a lot.
All right, highlight yours. What do you
All right,
what do you grade mine first of all? What do you grade out? Well, A, B, C, D, or
yours?
F. Why did they skip E in grading? That's so stupid.
I don't know. But for yours, I'll give you a solid B minus.
You
I think you're higher on George Pickens than I am. I think he's talented, but I think he's very boom or bust, and so I don't like taking that type of a player that early in the rounds.
Look at the draft, though. Look at all the top receivers that were off the board. There were no other top receiver. I had to get somebody, and that's who it was, baby.
I hear you. I think I would rather have had a Nico Collins or even taken a chance on like an A.J. Brown or Malik Neighbors over George Pickens personally. But I like your tight ends.
The top 5 offense is going to be insane.
I like your tight ends a lot. Brock Bowers is my Pookie, so I like that a lot. And your running back is very solid, has a very high floor, so it should be good. So I give you a B minus.
You're harsh with the grading.
I am. But yeah, here's my team picking at the 8 number spot. I went with Jackson Smith and Jigba, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Quinshon Judkins, Tyler Warren, Rome Odunze, Jalen Hurts, Marvin Harrison Jr., Alvin Kamara, Jonah Coleman, Travis Kelce, Jaden Higgins, Jonathan Brooks, and the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Yo, people watching, drop in the comments who you think won.
Ryan or David. Now. I need to know why I beat Moss.
Respectfully, your receivers are insane, of course, the top 3, but your running backs suck. Your top running back is a guy who's coming off an injury and is in a questionable offense at best with every single piece on the offensive line being brand new.
I get it. My running back room is rough, and I went with a strategy. I even said I'm going to go with a 0 running back strategy.
I hear you.
I went for it.
I hear you. So you're banking on your top 3 guys and hopeful for my Marvin Harrison to break out. I love the Tyler Warren pick. Like I said, he's in my tier 2 of tight ends. I think he'll be a top 5 tight end, probably number 3 this year, depending on what Colston Loveland does as well. But I love that pick. He's my Pookie. Hate the Rome Odunze pick. I think he is going to be the odd man out, and managers are going to be disappointed. I think the draft did fall properly where Burden was supposed to be drafted first. He was. Hurts is boomer bust, and we'll see what he does with the tush push too, without A.J. Brown, because they have Cole Payton now. And you and me have talked about Cole Payton. Go back to our other previous shows where we brought down quarterbacks, but Cole Payton with that tush push, I think, could be an absolute cheat code. So we'll see if that happens where they need to get him in there, or they're not confident in Jalen Hurts. Not to mention that wide receiver room is questionable with A.J. Brown gone, and Mekhi Lemon. We'll see what he does. Very promising rookie, but he's a rookie. I don't know. We'll see. I do like your draft. If you gave me I would have given you a B minus if you would have given me an A. So I got to give you a C minus.
Okay, I'll take it. I agree with you. The running back room here is a little bit weak. Whereas it was your strength, it was my weakness.
Sure.
I think what I like most about this, though, is that it kind of gives me some flexibility with that all-star wide receiver room that I have to then go out and trade for a running back during the season if I should so desire. Like if Jaden Higgins really hits, I can package him and another player up and trade for a running back. And so I like the flexibility that comes with this team I've got. So
that's a lot of ifs and buts and candy and nuts, So
yeah, who doesn't like candy and nuts? So yeah, there you have it. Please put down in the comments who you think won. I am partial to my team, but we'll see.
Respectfully.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to wrap this up.
And we're back. David's muted. I cannot hear you, David.
Hi, there you have it. Our first ever redraft mock is done. It was really fun, man. I had a lot of fun doing that.
It was a good time.
I love doing mock drafts, so.
Yeah, I do too. Drop that call to action, baby.
All right. Well, if you're really enjoying all the content that we've got going on, please go ahead and follow us wherever you are at on social media. We are trying to be there. So we're on X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Wherever you are, we're trying to be there. So please go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. And let us know who you think was a better drafter, me or Mosser. I think it was me, but we'll find out. And then if you are listening in podcast form, go ahead and subscribe to us wherever you are getting your podcast from. And please be sure to turn on automatic downloads. We want to be where you are as well and in your ears, helping you get an edge up on your fantasy football leagues this year. So please turn on automatic downloads and leave us a review.
Yeah. I just want to take one more moment to thank our show sponsor, Monster Moments Photography, which, if you haven't already known, is my business that my wife and I, Hallie, run together. Monster Moments Photography is our husband and wife wedding photography team based right here in Cleveland. For the past 10 years, Hallie and I have had the privilege of photographing more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond. Every single one of those weddings was shot together, just the two of us, working side by side, capturing the day as a true team. What we care about most is telling the real story of a wedding day, the genuine moments, the emotion, the little interactions that actually matter years later. We want couples to feel comfortable, natural, and completely themselves in front of the camera, and we approach every wedding with that mindset. No stiff posing, no forced smiles, just honest, meaningful images that feel true to who you are. Cleveland is home, but our inspiration comes from everywhere we traveled and every couple that we met. And whether it's a backyard ceremony or a full-scale destination wedding, we bring the same warmth, the same consistency, and the same passion to every single shoot. If you want to see our work or learn more, you can visit our website at mossormomentsphotography.com. That's MOSSOR momentsphotography.com right there on your screen. Thank you. All right, David. Oh, guys, that's
gonna wrap.
Let's do it. That's going to do it for season 2, episode 16th, our 29th episode overall, David, of the
29
of the fantasy football. I just spit everywhere. Disgusting. The Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast on screen 29. Neil Drool. Tonight we put the spotlight on the format that built fantasy football. A full 12-team standard mock draft. Every player on the board, every strategy on the table, and every pick shaping the next one. Obviously, David went 0 RB. I went kind of hero RB, so it's interesting. We walked through the decisions, real managers face, the pivots that separate good rosters from great ones, in the moment where trusting your instincts, matters more than a cheat sheet ever will, for sure. We talked value, we talked roster construction, we talked about how quickly a draft can flip from, when one manager goes off script a little bit, and most importantly, we showed that, what it looks like when you build a team from scratch when the entire NFL player pool is staring you right in the face. But next week, we're taking a hard left turn, David. Next Thursday, we are running another mock draft, guys.
It's draft season, baby.
It is. We are, what we're trying to do here, we are trying to get you as many different styles of drafts just so you are aware of them. So you learn, what is a dynasty? I don't know what that is. What's a guillotine? What's a vampire league if we do that? What's a PPR? What's
best ball,
super flex, best ball. There's so many, guys. So we're just trying to give you different opportunities to see what they're about and see if you are interested in playing in these different leagues. Next week is going to be a little weird, a little chaotic, and absolutely hilarious, I think, in the best way possible. We are going to be doing a guillotine auction mock draft next week. So for those of you who don't know what guillotine is, it'll be a great way to learn that. We're not going to spoil it right now. You're going to have to show up next week and learn what that is, but it's a lot of fun. Think budget strategy, survival-based roster building, and the consistent pressure of knowing, one bad week can send your entire team into the waiver wire for someone else to feast on. It's one of the most unique formats in fantasy football, if I'm being honest. Probably one of David's favorite. David always talks about this.
I love guillotine leagues.
He does.
They're so fun.
Yeah, and it forces you to think completely differently about value, spending, and just overall risk. If you never played a guillotine league before, if you want to, sharpen your auction instincts, next week's episode is going to be right up your alley. It's a lot of fun, guys. For David Cahoon, follow him at David Cahoon24. I am Ryan Mosser. You can find me at Dynasty CLE. This has been the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast. We will see you next week. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, we'll see you back on the couch next week.
Good luck.
Good luck.